Hi, how are you? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all well, and everybody's all right. I'm not all right. I have the dreaded festival lurgy, which apparently I'm not the only one that's got. I've seen on Facebook today several traders have all gone down with it. I lost my voice on Saturday, which was really useful in the show, and not feeling great, to be honest. I am. It was amazing. The show was absolutely spectacular. Some of the quilts that were there were just beyond belief. I mean, just spectacular. I can't even put into words how amazing some of them were. I really can't. And we were so busy. I mean, silly busy, which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, we are definitely feeling it now. Definitely feeling it. And now trying to put the shop back together and get everything back online and do your orders from last week. And we're doing the Vale Morgan judging tomorrow and then straight to Crate and Craft. So yeah, it's non-stop. So please do bear with us. We are trying our very best at the moment. Let's say hello to some people who's coming online. Hi, Natalie. Hello, my lovely. Hi, Lindy Lou. Hello, my darlings. Hopefully you're all okay and everything is good. What was I going to say to you? Thank you to everybody who came to see us at festival. We met lots and lots of our followers, which was lush, really nice. And we had some lovely presents. So thank you to Eileen for our beautiful mugs. They are stunning. We now want to get some white gecko ones for all you guys. And also to Freddie and Irene as well. Men in kilts, always a good thing. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was lovely. Really amazing show. It was great to have Sean with us, and Phil helped out as well for the last 3 days. So that definitely made it a bit easier, but I am my voice is still coming and going, so I will be squeaky, I'm afraid. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a little look at the hi Angela, hi Eileen, hello my darlings. We're going to have a look at the Delphine Brooks whatchamacallit. Hang on, let me just, the video's gone really big, which means I can't see the video and there we go, that's better. Hopefully that's, oh, there we go. That's right. We're going to have a look at those Delphine Brooks panels, which I was going to do last week, but then we had no internet, and then the van and everything. Oh, I tell you what, it's been horrendous. Yeah, Moreland Pottery website. I know. I think we need to get some with our white gecko on, don't we? Because lots of you have gone, oh, they all want one. So we might get some, Eileen. They're so beautiful. We're very grateful. I didn't get a chance to do this, and frankly they sold like hotcakes at festival. We've managed to get a couple more designs, but not all of them are still in stock, I'm afraid, and not all of them will be able to get again. So if you do like these, you need to let me know. So hi Kate. So what I'm going to do is pop over to the overhead. Hopefully this is all working. And we're going to just kind of talk through. There we go. Oh, my camera's gone all skew-whiffy, hasn't it? Let me see if I can... What's happened here? Hang on. Let me just see if I can tighten that up so that's a bit better. Ooh, not much better. I don't know what's happened there. Phil was in here yesterday. That's not good. So I did the goat one ready for last Tuesday, and of course then it didn't happen because of BT digging everything up. So I did do the goat one so I could trial it all out, and they are very easy to do. They're really nice to do. I played with the satin stitch on my new machine as well, which you can see some of it's a little bit dodgy because I was getting used to it, but by the time I got into the swing of it up here, I worked out best way to do it and stuff, and actually some of the satin stitch I'm really pleased with. So we're going to go through it today. Now, I did the whole of this one, and I still had all of these fabrics left. I didn't actually touch any of those ones, and there was still lots and lots of pieces left, which, you know, I mean, there's decent sized pieces left on the panel, so you're not going to use all of the fabric that's included either, which is nice. You're going to have quite a bit left over. We're going to tackle the cow today. I did put interfaces on the back of mine, which I'll explain in a moment. So I thought I'd talk you through and show you how I would do this. Hi Grace, how are you, lovely? Hi Cheryl. Oh, I know I'm proper full of cold, darling, but thank you. Hi Jackie. Hello, my lovelies. So I thought we'd have a little go at this one today. and I sort of talk you through how I looked at it and went with it. Okay, so I've cut out off the whole panel. I've cut out like the piece that I'm going to work on, which is obviously the black and white bit. I've also cut out the little reference guide as well, because this is what you're going to use to reference the colours and stuff that you're going to use in it. And then the panel has obviously got all the fabrics on it like that. Okay, you can see they've got they're all the same fabrics on each of the panels, so they would all coordinate. And you've then also got all your instructions as well. Okay, so it says that you're going to need a pen, you're going to need some double-sided fusible webbing. I used Bond Web. We have now got these little packs in as well, which I'll put on the website later on today. Rather than buying it on the roll, which can sometimes come apart, we've now got these little packs in too. And you're going to obviously need an iron mat, sewing machine, threads and scissors. So in the instructions it says trace over each section using a permanent pen on the glue side of the fusible webbing, which is the opposite to what we would normally do. It does say if you trace onto the wrong side of the pattern piece, it will be in reverse and it won't fit, which is exactly right, because obviously normally with Bond Web everything is in reverse, everything is a mirror image. Now with Bond Web I did try that on the goat. If I open this packet up, I did try it on the goat, drawing on the wrong side of the glue, the glue side rather than the paper side, and I didn't like it at all, I have to say. It's very rough. You can't get a really smooth line. So this is obviously the Bond Web like this. Okay. Oh, well, that's not going to be any good because it's the wrong. Oh, these packs, they're long and thin. Oh, I will be able to do some of it. Will I be able to do some of it? I might have to patch some of it. That's annoying. Oh, I should have bought a piece off the roll. Well, these packs are no good for this, because you need bigger pieces, you need wider pieces. I'll have to join it. So, I didn't realise that. That's naughty. I thought it was 1/2 metre rolled in half. Never mind. Okay, I know that for now. So, anyway, this is obviously the paper side, and normally on the reverse of an image we would put it paper side down, draw it, so that when you put it onto the wrong side of the fabric it's then right this way. It says to put it glue side up and draw it. Now it might be different with different fusible webbings. If you use Steam and Seam or Misty Fuse or anything like that, it might be different and it's not rough. But when I try to draw on the glue side, you can't get a crisp line even with a good pen or a pencil. So because these are black and white, if you flip them over, you can quite easily see the lines through the back. And I can quite easily draw it, which is what you would do normally on an applique. So that's how I did mine. You can try it either way. Either if you're doing it on the right side, you need to draw on the glue. If you're going to do it on the back side, you can draw on the paper. All right. So let me find a pencil. I've lost my pencil now as well. I did have a really big piece of Bond Web as well. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, darling. Sarah's obviously watching because she just ran over and brought me the Bond Web. So this will make life easier. This is wider. Okay, like that. Let's cut a piece off. We obviously do Bond Web on the roll as well, so like that. Now I'm going to do it the way that I like to do it, okay, and I'm going to do it on the back. Now I'm hoping that you guys can see this. You can see, let me put that other light on, that might work. Might help a little bit. You could put a light box underneath this as well if you wanted to. All right, but first, before we start drawing anything out, I want to talk to you about how to cut your pieces out by looking at the different pieces. Now you can absolutely just follow these shapes round, okay, and cut them that exactly. If you are careful and precise, that works. I'm not careful or particularly precise, so I always like to overlap my fused applique. So if you can see here, like if I put this one here, this purple bit here, which is the body, is this piece here. Okay, so it's going to go down there. This isn't purple, it's going to go down there like that. Okay, it's this bit here. But these bits are then going to sit on top. this bit here, which is the yellow bit here, is going to sit there, and then the blue bits sit on top again. So really spend some time kind of thinking. You're going out, you'll catch up later. Oh, okay, no problem, lovely. See you soon. Spend a little bit of time actually looking at it before you start cutting and sticking. All right, that's the one tip I can really give you, is think what's going to sit on top of which. Don't stick anything down until you've traced all your pieces as well, because again, I got a little bit stick happy with the goat, and like on this one here, the orange bit of his nose, if I trace that bit out onto my Bonder web, stuck it down, I can't then see these other pieces here that need to go on. So you need to make sure you've traced it all out first before you start sticking, okay? Because otherwise it don't work, all right? So we're gonna trace out this purple bit to start with, and because that's kind of a bit that we can do this bit together, because all of this goes on top of the purple. Do you understand what I'm saying here, guys? Does that make sense? That when I look at this little picture here, the purple is like the furthest bit away. That's right in the background. And then the yellow is going to go on top, and then the blue on top. And then the orange is going to sit over it. The pink's going to sit over that again. And then like the ears will sit underneath the headpiece. So you're going to try and build up from the back forward. All right. I'm hoping all that makes sense, my darlings. But we're going to start on his body bit, because this purple bit is definitely the thing at the very back. Okay, like with his ears, you would cut out this piece here first, because then the green would go on next, and then the orange sits on top of both of them. All right, because that's the furthest bit back. I'm hoping all that makes sense, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, because I'm going to do it from the back. I found this a lot easier to do it from the back. You're going to pop it again. Use a light box if you want to. Now, I can see here when I'm looking at it that there's nothing overlapping that, so that's going to be a nice straight line there. And this bit here, there's nothing else encroaching on it, so that is also going to be a nice straight line. That's this bit here and this bit here. Where the purple, like this bit of its head and nose and mouth, where the purple is there, if you just cut them exactly, you've only got to be out a little bit, and you're going to see a little bit of the navy. So what I want to do is make sure that I go cut just a weeny bit more, so that it'll sit under. When I put the orange on, it's going to overlap it. Again, hoping all that makes sense. So I'm going to draw this piece out. So that there is a nice straight line. Okay, there's nothing on this bit here. Let me go to there. There's nothing on this bit here that is overlapping, so that is going to be a straight line. There. Okay. Now, when I pull this back, this next line here, the ear and the face is going to be overlapping. So I'm just going to sort of do a slightly bigger dotty line. So I'm just going to extend it a weeny bit past the line, so that I know that that's going to be an underneath bit. And again, there's the sort of swoop of her nose. So I'm just going to take it and it's only like not even a quarter of an inch. It just needs to be a little bit, so that it all overlaps and you haven't got any gaps. Excuse me. I'm really sorry. My throat is really bad. Okay. And then again, I'm looking through, and that's where the base of her mouth is going to be. So I want to just give myself just a teeny tiny little bit. It really is 1/8 of an inch, less than 1/4 of an inch overlap. This line here is a straight line. Sorry guys, I am battling this. And then I'm going to reverse back to my picture. I can see that my purple's coming all the way down here, which is this line here. So I'm just going to give myself enough to overlap like that. Okay. Oh, I'm really sorry. I can't stop the cough. I'm also going to label that piece of Bondweb up number 1, and I'm going to say it's in purple. Right onto it if you can, okay? Because again, when you start sticking down and then trying to reposition it all, it'll make your life easier. So that's that bit there. And then, because before I stick anything down, I need to make sure that I cut out these little yellowy bits here. I'm going to move this down, and I can cut out, and again, don't be wasteful with your Bondweb. There's nothing overlapping those ones, so I can just draw around those shapes like that. You know, I mean, we've done fused, you know, I'm going to put 2 and 3 on that, and then a Y for yellow. Okay. Next thing I need to look at is this bit here. All right. So again, I'm going to refer back. It's yellow with then this turquoise colour over the top. So I'm going to look for the yellow line first. All right. So that's all blue there. So this bit here is all the yellow, and this bit here. I would do that in 2 pieces probably. So this bit here is also yellow, like that. And there's nothing overlapping that bit. But on the base here, going down into a leg, there's the turquoise. So again, I'm just going to extend it a little bit. So that's number 4, and that's also yellow. And then, again, trying to make sure I've got all this in. I can actually get it into there. That would be a better place, wouldn't it, this piece here? There's nothing overlapping there, like that. So, you know, spend a little bit of time. That's, you know, the best results you'll get is if you spend a little bit of time and work out where it's all sitting. So at the moment, none of this is overlapping. This is going to sit over the purple, okay? But this bit here is under the turquoise. I really hope I'm making sense. And my brain is a weeny bit addled at the moment. I'm afraid I'm so full of nonsense and snot and cold. Okay, like that. So I'm drawing out those shapes. Hi Karen, how are you? How's my cold? It's not great, hun, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to going on a Chanda on Create Craft. Not, to be honest. I feel like a bag of rubbish. And then I'm going to look at the turquoise ones. So I know that that's a whole piece there. We don't have to worry about any of overlapping with that. So that would be number 6. Edge of the square is I'm just making sure it lines up. So that I'm going to call it turquoise, so TQ. Just give yourself some sort of symbols. And then this one over here is the other bit of the leg. So you would literally work your way through. And again, I'm doing it on the back because I prefer it that way. I prefer to work it that way, okay? I think it feels more natural to me to work from the back. So that's what I'm doing, all right? So that's number 7, TQ, okay? So draw it all out, all right? You could get to that point and then stick these on and cut them out, but don't stick them onto this bit yet, okay? If you want to work in stages, but you basically work through the panel like that. So I've now cut out all of this bit here. I would then look at the next bit and think, right, okay, so before I put the nose and the mouth on, this headpiece, here's my little bit there, which is the green bit, this headpiece is going to have to sit underneath this nose, isn't it? Now, I might be doing this completely differently to how Delphine Brooks does. She might do it completely differently, lovely. This is how I saw it, okay? So I'm just telling you how I would go with it. So like that green piece would probably be next here. And then you've got that orangey yellow bit underneath, because they're all going to come underneath this big orange nose. This little bit of purple tuft would need to come underneath. And then you've got that section there of hot pink, and then the eyes and all, you know, the eyebrowy bits, and then the eyes would go on like afterwards. But before all of that goes down, if I look at it, this ear has got to be done, okay? Because the ear wants to sit underneath that. So basically the last pieces you're going to put on are this here, the nose and the mouth. You're going to build up round it before you do that bit. Blimey, have you got the energy to do a live after the weekend? I have no idea, lovely. Hi Deborah, how are you? Absolutely no idea how I've got the energy to do a live. I am dead on my feet, but we've got a hell of a busy week. So Gotta keep going. Right, what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to look at my fabric panel bits. And again, I'm going to look at the little reference picture, and I know that the body I want to do first is this purple here. So the same with any fused applique. I'm going to cut it out slightly bigger than my pencil lines. If you were to, I mean, I'm actually taking some, what's it called, Misty Fuse, which is a new type of fusible webbing, onto Create and Craft on Thursday, actually, which has got no paper on it. It's just the webbing, and you can draw on it. So I think that would, you know, if you were doing it from the front rather than the reverse side, you know, that would probably not be as rough. It's really horrible drawing on the glue. Can you see it? It doesn't take very well, and you don't get a very neat line, which I didn't like. So I'm going to add this piece on, and again, make use of your fabric. Make sure let me just take that bit off as well. You don't want to use that excess. There we go. Don't waste your fabric wherever you can. Get it right tucked in. You can fussy cut bits of it. You know, if you want certain parts of these swirls and stuff on there, do that. These were so popular at festival. They are very clever. They really are, aren't they, Sean? Really, really good. They sold so quickly. We can't get any. We're totally out of the pigs, and we can't get any more. I have tried this morning, and we can't get any. So I've made sure that the glue side is onto the wrong side of the fabric, like that, and then it's a press and hold. Okay. Obviously, make sure you don't use a Frixion pen to do this, because I've done that before. Definitely done that before. And you put the iron on it after you've drawn it all out, and it all disappears. Excuse me. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to cut directly on the pencil line, and you know we do that to like fuse the edge and stuff, yeah? So I'm going to cut on that line. I'm not going to obviously do the whole thing, guys, because I'll be here for a couple of hours and we're trying to get the shot back together. But I'm going to put a couple on for you, and then I've left some bits on the goat to show you how to finish it off. So we're going to have a little play with the satin stitch, or you could do a zigzag or a blanket stitch. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just cutting now out on the pencil line, and this actually kind of pushes the glue into the edge, which does help a little bit with fraying. Okay, and then down on that pencil line there, like that, and then round those dotty lines. There we go. Like that. There we go. So that's my first piece cut out, and that's going to sit here. Okay, so I know that this line is an exact line, so I'm going to line that up, and you want it just to go over like that, and then wiggle it around, wiggle it around, wiggle it around until it fits. Oh, hang on. I'm going to make it fit. There we go. So that's going to go just there, like that, and then that's going to come down there like that. There we go, like that. Okay, so that piece is going to sit in there. Just pin it in for now. Don't stick anything until you've cut all your pieces out. All right, so you do have to kind of wiggle it a little bit. Let me just grab my pins. Hi Kerry, how are you, lovely? So literally all I did then was just chuck a couple of pins in like that, just so I know that that's the right piece. Oh, helps if you go through to the back end, doesn't it? So that's definitely that piece there. All right, like that. Okay, so that's going to be that, and then you can see, like, you know, you've lost a little bit. You know, if you stuck that down now before tracing all these bits out, you wouldn't be able to see these bits. But we're gonna add a couple more on. So where's my bit here? So number 2 and 3 were those little bits here, but I'm going to leave those. We're going to do 4, which is this bit here. There we go, and 5, which is yellow as well. So again, I'm just going to hack that out. This isn't very interesting for you guys to watch, to be honest, but I want to just get a couple of pieces done So the yellow, again, go back to your reference one, but I know it's this one here, this sort of yellowy orange colour. So we're going to pop those. Let me pop that safe over there. Right side to, on the wrong side. Pull this over. Oh, I'm getting myself in a muddle today. So for those of you who did come to festival, are you all now broke? Have you spent all your pennies? I was very restrained. I bought almost nothing. I bought some fabric to make a quilt for Rory, which was very specific that he wanted. And that was pretty much, oh, and some thread. I bought some Aurifil and that was it. I didn't buy anything else. Right, I'm just going to hack this out quickly and then, there we go, like that. And then I can cut them out a bit more carefully now. So, there we go, there. Round we go. So, hopefully you enjoyed the little walk rounds as well. It was, there were some quilts there that were just mind-bogglingly good. I can't even speak today. I really can't. I'm pathetic. Right pathetic I am. So that is that piece over there. So that's going to, can you see that fits in there like that? Sorry, let me get this in the camera. That's going to fit there like that. So when that is put on there like that, that's actually going to go in there. Okay, so again, I just like to put, while I'm cutting everything out, put a pin in just to make sure that, you know, there we go, that everything is where it should be. And you build the picture up like this. Okay, I'll cut this other one out and you can see how that sits there. I'm not going to bother to cut the turquoise out for now, okay? It's, otherwise we really will be here for hours. But you can see how you build this up. Yeah, and we haven't got any pigs left. We only bought one roll of the pig, thinking, oh, you know, we're not, you know what, people will go with the cows and the dogs. No, they all like the pigs. We've got more of the goat coming in. She's out of stock at the moment, but she'll be in the rest of the end of the week. But to be honest, they've been so popular. They really haven't. They really haven't got any extra stock in the warehouse. No handbags, Sarah. No, I didn't buy any handbags this time. So this one is going to sit down here like that. Okay, can you see how that one's going to sit there? And this is why you've got that overlap. So this is cut lower so that you've got nothing peeking out at all. You're not seeing any of this background fabric. Okay, so that would go there like that. And then I would cut out my turquoise ones and they would go, these ones here, and then they would go over like that. Cut them all out, pin them down, just make sure that it's all as it should be, okay? You can then do what you normally do and score the back in. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to ruin this one. I need to cut it all out. But you score the back in with a pin, pull off that back in fabric, the paper, you know, the paper bit of the back in, so that you've just got the Bonder web on there, and then you would just line that back up like that. Use this as a guide as well, and then once it's all in position, then I would, you know, iron it all down, okay, to make your picture. Iron it all down, make sure it's all exactly as you want it to be, because once it's ironed, there's no change in it, okay? There's really no change in it. So you guys know how to do fused applique. But I just wanted to talk you through, because it's not numbered anyway, about how to look at it going backwards and forwards. All right, so I'm going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to go back to the goat because I want to talk to you about the joining stitch, you know, how to finish it off. Okay, now I've deliberately not done this orange one here so I can show you how to do it on the goat. I did all the rest of it, but I didn't do this one. This was ready for last Tuesday and it didn't happen, did it? It doesn't tell you to do it on the instructions, but I absolutely believe that if you're going to be manipulating the fabric with a blanket stitch or a strong, you know, a satin stitch or something like that, put some interfacing behind the work. It puckers so much less. You get a much neater, much crisper line because it's not pulling the fabric. Because this is got a beautiful drape on it, the backing fabric. It's a really lovely cotton. But if you put some interface in, it could be stitch and tear if you wanted to, and tear it out afterwards. But I've just put some fusible interface in on the back just to stabilise it so that I can really work into it and stuff, all right? How you choose to finish this off, and I've just got to see if I can find my orange thread now, it's over here. How you choose to finish it off is entirely up to you. You could absolutely do some free motion embroidery into this and just, you know, pop your feed dogs down and do that free motion embroidery into it to give it that really sketchy feel. I personally think that would be a little much for this, but I have seen ones done like that and they look lovely. You could use a blanket stitch. You could hand blanket stitch if you like that, or you can use a blanket stitch on your machine and blanket stitch all round all the pieces. Or you could use a zigzag, which is what I've done, but I've done it as a satin stitch. So I've kept, instead of keeping my zigzag as a real big zigzag, I've reduced the stitch length right down so it's a satin stitch. So it's I don't know if you can see it. Let me hold this really close so you can see it's a tiny, tiny little zigzag. I don't know if you can see this, guys, but the stitch length is reduced right down so they're really, really close together, so it gives you like a satin stitch edge. Okay, can you see like here? Now you can see where I'm showing you the dodgy bits as well. Okay, you can see here where wasn't quite getting the hang of my points, okay, on the satin stitch, but by the time I'd got to this bit here, I'd worked out how to do the points. So I'm going to go through that with you on the machine, and we're going to do this bit here. All right, this little bit of orange. So you're all very quiet today, my lovelies. How are you all? Are you all right? You still with me? I'm trying to keep on talking, even though my voice is really not wanting me to. So let me just, I'm sorry, I just realised I hadn't put the orange thread on ready. I've put on my machine, I've put an open-toed foot on here, okay, and I've obviously taken my straight stitch plate off and put the normal plate on, because I'd just smash a needle otherwise. So there we go, there. Just thread my needle up with the orange. I also like to do my satin stitch or blanket stitch in the colour of the fabric as well, which does mean you have to change threads quite a bit, but that's the look that I prefer. Okay, I've just realised I haven't changed the needle. Let me just change the needle over. So this is the 20C, not the needle, the foot. I meant to change it over before I came on air and I forgot, because my brain is a big pile of mush at the moment. Oh no, 20C, that one there. And the plate is the normal 9mm plate. There we go. Okay. The other thing I want to do is, actually, if I just lift this up a minute so you can see, hopefully you can see, is I want to go onto a zigzag stitch, okay? And obviously you will have this on your own machines, all right? You will choose your zigzag, okay? But I want to reduce, so the width of the stitch is how big the zigzag jumps over the line, okay, how big it is. Now that for me at the moment is on 3.6, so get yourself a little scrap of fabric to start with, okay, and test it out. Test out what size your zigzag is. So if I do this and show you my normal zigzag. Oh no, I've still got up. Oh, what did I do? I pressed something wrong then. What did I press wrong? No idea. Press something wrong then. So, hang on, there we go. Let's try again. That's it. So, big zigzag. I'm going to try and show you. Tempting to concentrate on what you're saying and writing work. Oh dear. There we go. So, I don't know, I'm hoping you can see this. Can you see? So that's just normal zigzag. That's at 3.5, so it's jumping out quite a bit, but they're really far apart. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, guys. Sorry, I don't know if the light's right. But the zigzag's quite far apart. So what I want to do, so the zigzag is telling you how far apart, how wide the stitch is going to go. The stitch length is how far apart they are. So I want to reduce mine right down to, I did it on 0.4, Okay, so they were really close together. Let me just do a little bit very quickly, and I'll take it back over to the overhead, and hopefully you can see the difference. Here we go. Okay, right, let me take it back over to the overhead a second. What was that, Kay? You got the dog. Ah, lovely, fabulous. Right, so if I come over here, the light might be a little bit better. So this was 3.5 on the width, but 1.5 on the stitch length. So you've got that zigzag happening. I'm trying to hold it as close as I can. But if I do 3.5 on the width, but 0.4 or 0.5 on the stitch length, you get this satin stitch, which is really, really close together. Okay, I should have done this on white, really. It would have been shown up more. But that's kind of what you want to think about, okay? So back over to here. And I want to talk to you about getting around the points with satin stitch, because it's about, as ever, learning your machine. Okay, so I'm going to start just there. Okay, so just because I'm going to do this orange piece here, all right, and so I'm starting just on the inside of the orange fabric, because that's where my needle starts. It starts this side, so I know it's going to jump across and cover that seam. So start off a bit slowly, okay, and make sure that it's nice and close. Now actually that is a weeny bit wide for me, so I'm going to go down, because this is going to be quite a small piece. Ooh. Normally I would unpick that a little bit, but I'm not going to now, because these are going to be quite narrow here. I'm taking the stitch width down 2, so I've got it on 2 now, okay, which is going to give me, that's better, a much tighter satin stitch, a much narrower satin stitch. And I'm just trying to concentrate on keeping the edge of the applique piece right in the centre, so that let the machine do the work backwards and forwards. Okay, so when I get to this point here, I've got to remember how I did it now, because it's been a while. It's been a week. Now, if I leave it on this side and turn, right, so now let me go back. So if I leave it on, put the foot down. If I leave it at the beginning here, so if I go back to that bit there, so if I leave it on this side, on the left hand side, and then lift my foot and turn, it's going to jump out, because it's going to go to the right again, and it's going to be nowhere near the point. You're going to have it like jumping into over here, and you don't, you want it to go round because you've moved the fabric. So the thing I would suggest is, on a bit of scrap fabric, just draw some zigzags, or draw some of these sort of like swoopy pointy shapes, and practice a little bit first, okay? So, oh, sorry, not camera, oops. There we go. So what I want to do is actually go back so that it's that side, okay? So I want it to finish on the right. Lift my foot, turn it. So now I know it, because it's finished on the right, it's going to jump back over this point. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully it does. Hopefully that makes sense. And do it in small sections. So there we go. And then you keep turning and pivoting. Turning and pivoting, turning and pivoting. Right, so it's now on the left. If I turn this like that, it's going to go, because I want to come down here, I know it's going to go right first. So it really is about just concentrating and thinking about which way. There you go. So I know it wants to come back that way. It's the same with the blanket stitch. It's about learning the pattern of your machine. Every machine has a slightly different way of doing it. So you do need to just have a little go on some scrap. There we go. I'm going down to that point again. Now, I've left it there. If I turn it, it's going to jump all the way, you know, it's going to be jump into this, and I don't want it to. So, put the thing down. I want to go make sure it's on the right with this one, because I want it to jump back over that way, because that's the way I'm turning it. I'm hoping this is making sense, guys. I'm not explaining anything very well today. No, okay. So when you're turning it one way, you want it to finish this side, and when you're turning it the other way, you want it to finish this side, basically. Practice on some scrap, and really get to know your zigzag. I didn't, and I made a right mess of them down here. By the time I got up here, I'd learnt it, and I was like, ah, right, that makes sense now. Here we go. And you just keep going round. Just keep going round the shape. You get a bit, you know, once you get a bit more confident, you can kind of go, oh, right, okay. So that one needs to be that way, because I'm turning it that way. There we go. There we go there. Because I'm going to turn it the other way, I need it to be on the right, so that when I turn like that, learn your machine, guys, okay? Because yours will be different to mine, and, you know, even brothers or all, you know, they're all slightly different, their patterns. You know, when I went from my original brother to my second one, it was such a different in the stitches. Here we go. It doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be satin stitch. It could absolutely be a blanket stitch or just a wider zigzag. I just happen to like the look of the satin stitch. That was it. Okay, so I've gone around all that piece. All making sense. Are you using a special thread for that? No, I'm just using Metler, hun. But I had, you know, as you can see, I had a mixture of different colours for them. I've got moon thread, Gutermann, Metler. It was just whatever colour. I even used an IKEA thread. Look, this is one of those cheapy IKEA threads for the yellow because it was the right colour. The Metlers are like the same as Gutermann type thing. It doesn't have to be a special thread at all. And I've kept white in the bottom for all of it. Okay, so yeah, that's that now, satin stitched down. Okay, all right. So, but you can choose how you want to you know, actually stitch it. It doesn't have to be satin stitch. It can, like I said, it can be black. Oh, sorry. There we go, over here. Hi. Oh, I told you I'm not great. I'm not great today. So I've gone all the way around that orange one. You know, I could, like I said, I've used IKEA. I've used moon threads. I've used Metlers, a bit of Gutermann. All of these colours were used in there, and it really doesn't make a difference. It's just whatever thread you've got in the right colour, guys. Okay, so have a look. I think they're beautiful. I think they're really funky, really different. Delphine Brooks we actually met her at festival. She's such a lovely lady. Her designs are fantastic. They really are. Like I said, we haven't got any of the pigs left, but we have got the others all at the moment. Yeah, have a little go. Get them while you can, because they've been on Sewing Street and they were very, very popular at festival. So I'm not sure they're going to be around for very long. She is bringing out new designs as well, apparently. So I don't know when they'll be. We haven't heard from the rep about that though. So, but yeah, it's they look really good, don't they? I think they're really funky. They'd make amazing wall hangings. You know, if you maybe got teenagers or stuff, rather than or you know, kids or grandkids or whatever, it's a little bit funkier. You know, they're quite sort of more modern, aren't they, than a lot of things. If you wanted to make something, I think you could stretch them over a canvas or just back them and hang them as a wall hanging. Yeah, they'd be great. So that's it from me today, my darlings. There isn't one tomorrow because we will be going live, but it's not a tutorial. We're going to do a live, hopefully, if the weather holds, from the Vale of Glamorgan County show tomorrow, because we're judging. So we'll try and show you a little bit of that if I've got signal and if it's not pouring down with rain. I'm not walking around the show if it's raining. But we're going to do the judging there. The quilt along isn't happening tomorrow night. So I know it's supposed to be tomorrow night. It's not happening tomorrow night. I've got to travel up to Peterborough. I've got all my dates muddled up. I've got to go to Peterborough tomorrow night, ready for Hachanda in the morning. Create and Craft in the morning. So the quilt along isn't happening tomorrow night, because otherwise I wouldn't be getting up there till 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be in the studio at 5. So that's not happening. So I will do them weekly then from the following week. Okay, so it will be next Wednesday in the evening for the quilt along. Gives you an extra week to catch all those fencing blocks and all up. Okay, and then we'll do them weekly from then on. And there won't be one on Thursday, obviously, because I've got shows at 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. this time. Okay, so it's 7 and 12 on Create and Craft. So yeah, I think that's everything, my darlings. And then hopefully we'll be back to normal the following week. Back to normal, finally. Feels like we haven't been normal for a very long time. Well, I'm never normal. Sarah Jane's definitely not normal. But hopefully means that we'll be back to normal then the following week. Okay, so that's it. Take care, my darlings, and oh, you're very welcome, lovely. I'm hoping that my voice comes back properly, because I really don't want to be coughing and spluttering all over Crit and Craft. Oh, well, I've got some app filming to do as well, so hey. Anyway, take care, my lovelies. Bye.